sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm doing block number 3, and the sampler that I've been working on today's block is applique. Let's get started. Here's the original applique that came with these leftover blocks from another quilter, and I'm going to make just a simplified version. Here's my background square, 12.5 inches. I have some floral fabric, some solids, and I'm going to be using interfacing. First thing I did was I measured that outside petal area with the floral fabric, and it's about 4 inches by 4 inches. So using a square, I folded it in half, and I cut out a heart shape, sort of with a square bottom, just about the same size as the original applique design. And I will cut 4 of these, or I'll be using this for my pattern for the heart shape. I folded my square in half twice to get an idea of the 4 quadrants, how big they were, and I laid my pattern down and it looks like it's going to work. I also want to cut 4 green leaves, sort of like that original quilt. Mine will be just a little bit different, and here's my rough sketch of what I was aiming for in my quilt block. So I'm going to take my paper and just cut a sort of a leaf design like that original. I cut half of it and then I realized I really needed to fold that so both sides are the same, and I just followed my line there and cut that out, and that will be the pattern for my green fabric. I also want some circles. On the outside, the original quilt has sort of a pointy center to the flower, sort of a bud, and mine are going to be circles. I used my pattern and I used a pencil and drew my design on the back of my fabric, and I need to leave room for a 1/4 inch seam because I'll be joining my fabric with the interfacing. Now I'm going to use the pattern for the green fabric, and I used a pencil and I can see it okay. I did want to see what this white chalk, how that would work, and I mostly for your benefit, and there you can see that white chalk marker does a really good job. It's just not as easy to go around the pattern piece. So I will end up using a pencil for 4 of these little green leaf designs that I'll be using on my applique block. I will not be using interfacing for the circles. I'll just be pressing those. So I got some cardboard out and I used that with my pattern, and I will cut out a cardboard circle, and I will do the circles just a little bit differently in this applique project. Most of my items are now ready to be prepared, and I'm going to take the prints, the flower petals, let's call them, the heart shapes here, and I'm going to put right sides together with my lightweight interfacing, and I will be using that print as my guide. I'll cut around the pattern, the fabric pattern there, and then I'll sew on the pencil line. Now that all of my pieces are cut out, I'm going to sit down at my machine and I will sew right along my pencil line. After getting everything sewn together, I put a little slit in the back into the interfacing, and I was able to turn these little applique pieces right side out. After getting a few of the elements ready for my quilt block here, I laid them out and decided how big the center circle should be, and I made it out of cardboard. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this one a little bit different. I'm going to be using starch and my iron to get this one prepared for applique. I covered the wool mat with some fabric because I know the wool mats don't do well with starch, and I just sprayed that starch right on the cotton and used my cardboard and then pressed all around to get this circle ready for my quilt block. Last but not least, I will be cutting 4 red circles, quite a bit smaller, and I will be preparing these the same way that I did that yellow circle in the center of my block. Everything's now ready for applique, and I thought I would compare the two quilt blocks. Mine is quite a bit simpler, and first thing I had to do was find green thread that matched that green leaf element, and then I'll get some red thread, and later, last thing I will applique is that yellow circle. The interfacing I'm using is fusible, and the fusible part of the interfacing is not that great, but I did want to take advantage of the little bit of fusible that's on there, and I thought I would press these pieces and hopefully they will just be a little more stable while I am appliquing. I did need to add some pins. They stick a little bit, but not really great. But that was just a little bit of help for me as I appliqued these pieces on. So beginning with the applique pieces that are under, I'm beginning with the red because that's under the green, and then I'll do the green leaf because that's under the flower petal shape, that heart shape, and I'll just work from the outside in with thread that matches, and before you know it, I'll have a quilt block. I wanted to mention that when using this white interfacing, it's really helpful if you can try to catch the fabric as you come up from the back. You want to try to just catch the fabric and get that interfacing to recede. If you take your needle through the interfacing, it might show up. So I tried to kind of push the interfacing under and just catch the green fabric as I went around, and then I did the same thing with, of course, the other pieces. This is the third block in this sampler quilt I'm calling the Friendly Sampler. It was a fun block to put together, and I look forward to joining you with a new one very soon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.